The purpose of the video is to share some of the changes and the modifications we made based on our first big trip that we did. We found ways to improve storage and the functionality and our overall general enjoyment of a road trip in this RV. As a new camper van owner, we started with small trips, 1 or 2 nights, just to build up our confidence and to understand how these various systems of this Jayco Swift camper van work. Finally, we were ready for our first big trip, a 3,500 kilometer, 3-week trip through Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia in Atlantic Canada. Hi, I'm Gwen, Slow Go Adventures. If you're a new RVer like I am, or a seasoned RVer, welcome. First, it became clear really quickly that how we manage our stuff, how we manage clutter, really was going to be essential going forward. And it really impacted how we enjoyed our trip. So let's talk Vanessa Rule. Vanessa is a Jayco Swift Class B RV. And so we developed a number of just general rules to help making living in this smaller space more comfortable for both my husband and I. First Vanessa Rule is inside shoes. Well, actually it's more like outside shoes. So just like at home, we take our shoes off at the door. If the weather permits, I have a carpet that I put outside. It's made of straws. I bought it in Lunenburg probably 10 years ago now. And since that time, it's been on our deck at the back for most of that time. And it's still in pretty good shape. No wonder people are concerned about plastics in our lakes and our rivers and our oceans. They last a long time. Anyways, I digress. Yes, so the first rule was to take our shoes off at the door with a little mat outside. When the weather is crappy, that brings us to Vanessa Rule number 2. When it's muddy or wet out, or if we've been hiking and our hiking boots are dirty, I bought 2 little boot trays and put them behind the passenger seat on the floor, so the mucky boots go into that boot tray. And a little bonus is when we have our hiking boots in the boot tray, hiking boots make a great spot to put glass bottles, like a beer bottle or a wine bottle, so they don't roll about or they don't take up precious counter space before you take them out to recycle. Vanessa Rule number 3. Sweep the floor at the entrance often. So we keep a little tiny brush and a little sweeper tray right at the door there, so when we come in and out, we can sweep out the gunge. Even though we take our shoes off coming in and out, we still find it gets pretty dirty in here, especially if we're traveling with our dog. She'll bring in stuff on her paws, etc. So we sweep often. And don't forget to sweep the step on the way in as well, because that can be a great repository for dirt. So sweep often. Rule number 4 was, where do we put our jackets and our wet coats when we come in? So I have these little hooks that I use that fit on the back of the passenger side seat and the driver's side seat. We hang our coats there, fleece, whatever. In times when we don't need them and it's warmer out and we're not using those types of garments, I'll either store them in the back wardrobe or I roll them up and I'll stuff them overhead in the storage just over the driver's seat. So those are some of the key, what we called Vanessa rules. So on to a few more modifications that we made. First, we added a push-on battery-powered light on the mirror in the back bathroom. The overhead light is okay, but it causes quite a shadow on your face. So if you don't mind that, your overhead light is fine. So we added one to the mirror and we added one to the wall on either side as well. And added bonus to that is when you go up in the middle of the night to visit the loo, you can push on that little light and push it off quite easily. The next modification we made was to leave our terry cloth or plush towels at home. You have bath towels, beach towels, dog towels, a lot of towels. And if we're camping where we have access to trees and we can string up a clothesline to hang all those towels on, that's great. However, there are times when you don't have that. And I also found even hanging them up on the line, quite often they would be damp, bringing them in at the end of the day, or on a travel day when you're ready to travel, they're still wet. And they also take up a fair bit of room. So we switched over to microfiber towels. They don't take up nearly the same amount of space when they're stored, but also they dry really quickly. So we could even hang 2 on the bar in the back bathroom and they would be dry in no time. The other really great improvement also in the back were heavy duty magnets that I bought off of Amazon. They have hooks, they're like a little hook. We put them on the door, even though there's limited places where you can put them, but they're great to hang towels again or clothing. We have the back doors open because we want the breeze through. Then I've used them to hang up a bit of a towel to provide a bit of privacy. They're also really great when you're having a shower to pin the shower curtain back against the door so it doesn't suck into your body. The next thing, and that was a big game changer for us too, was putting a black vent cover or black cover over the roof vent. We bought our roof vent from, not the vent, we bought the cover from Roloff in Montreal. It's got zippered sides and Velcro, so it was really easy to install. It keeps the hot sun out during the day and also keeps the annoying light out at nighttime when you're trying to sleep. So that was a great improvement as well. I also purchased tension bars that I put in the vanity at the back as well as the overhead bins. They just keep the pressure off the doors that are magnetic. So if things are moving around a little bit, they don't tend to fall out. So the biggest takeaway from our first big trip, first of all, it takes a couple of days to kind of get into the flow of the dance, if you will, inside a smaller space like the camper van. Number one takeaway is everything needs to have its own place, and it needs to be returned to that place once you're finished using it. And here are some tips. If you're planning on setting up your camper van, just keep in mind that small changes can make a really big difference in the functionality and the flow within the camper van. Small changes like adding those little lights in the bathroom made a big change for us, a big difference. When it comes to organization, baskets are your friend. Baskets, they're a simple thing. You can organize anything in a basket. They don't have to be that big. You can organize kitchen utensils, your food, clothing, electronics, any small items. And it's really easy to pull a basket out of the overhead cupboard when you're trying to get something, trying to find something. It's just as easy to throw all your loose items back in and store it when you're ready for a travel day. So it's a really great way to organize the things that you do bring is by using baskets. The other big takeaway I would say is the multifunctionality of items. So for instance, the hooks in the back, there's 3 or 4 different uses that we use those hooks for that I'd mentioned. We also use the tray that came with the camper van. It's a drain tray for washing up dishes. I actually put that down beside the sink. So when you're reaching over with wet hands to turn the tap on or off, sometimes you get water dripping down onto the bed. So this way that tray keeps the water off the linens. It also makes a great tray. We try and cook as much as we can outside and eat outside. So again, use that as a little tray to carry out your drinks or your food, whatever. It's a great little carrying tray as well. Those are some basic tips and things that we changed after our first big trip. What are some things that you discovered as you experienced living in the van and moving around? What did you make changes to? And be interested to know, put some in the comments. And if you found this interesting or helpful, please press like and subscribe to the channel, and there'll be lots more content coming in the days to come. Have a great one.